So when I was talking to the GM about like what all the bullshit that was going on with, my situation and his department, how they're fucking running things, and he was just like, I couldn't even understand him some of the times, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm in this situation. And I even told him like too how like also when you get written up, you have to wait 30 days or 90 days, depending on severity, to apply to go to another department or whatever, or if they have some kind of program or something to do, you can't have any write-ups basically. So that also counts for um, switching to another department. So when I switched to another department, this was back in August when the HR representative told me to do. I got approved. So like when I got approved, I didn't think those write-ups were still on my ass, because you can't, like, especially on a final written, you can't get transfer. That's like, because like it's like starting all over. Someone gets all these write-ups and they transfer to another department, and then it basically starts all over because then they're in a new department. And they don't let people do that, because then people who always get final writtens will just switch departments. So but I got approved, so I didn't think those write-ups were still on me. So when I got terminated, I told the GM, like, I wasn't supposed to get approved to go to the department if I had these write-ups, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, so why did I get approved? And then fired me on like the last day that I was gonna go to the department. And he just gave me some bullshit, like basically telling me like how the system works. It's like, bitch, I know how the motherfucking system works. I'm just saying, like, why did that happen? Like, what? Like, and that's why I was getting pissed off, because it's just like these motherfuckers at Amazon, like, they literally just read shit off the computer, and they're just like, oh, yep, this is it, set in stone right here, right on the fucking computer, right? Because it's telling me without any experience, without communication, without fucking, you know, doing the diagnostics of like, dealing with people and managers and like, lower tier positions, entry level levels, new hires, anybody like that just comes with the experience. And like, it's like these people don't have it at all there at fucking PDX9. Like they're just so fucking like I'm like, one time we had the fucking fire drill. One time, right? We had the fire drill, and we were out there for a long time, and the managers lost so many people. They lost so many people, and they were fucking running around, and they were like all like all worried and shit. And I told one manager, I was like, why the fuck y'all didn't just scan everybody and like sign everyone out so you can keep a tally on it? And he's like, yeah, that would have been a good idea. I was like, yeah, no shit, because that's what you're supposed to fucking do. Like, you want to tally everyone out, you got to get the fucking scanner. You got to get someone to scan people out when you're doing the fucking drills and shit, or else you're not gonna get. How are you gonna get the tally? Because like the building was so big, you go and like people are gonna like it, you can be in the same department but still be split up from the rest of the group, because you're on the different side of the building. So the managers couldn't keep count of that. So like it was a fucking catastrophe with the fucking fire drill, and I was like, wow, I can't believe they fucked this up too. Like fire drill, like goddamn. Like I remember thinking back in Texas when we had the fire drills, everyone used the scanners, and they're like, okay, well, back inside. It was like a fucking 7 minute drill, and like it was over. But over here at PX9, that shit lasted for like over an hour. I know it was over an hour because we were outside and I had to smoke because I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And shit like that. Uh, Also with interrupts rate, like they would always get people to go to the front to watch these stupid fucking videos about how to fucking grab a box and put it in like like in the bin. Literally, like if they mastered it, like if they fucking Da Vinci like how to master position of picking up a box and putting it in a fucking bin, like that's what they were trying to show you. And they interrupted you all the fucking time. All the time. Like I don't know how many times I'd be working, stowing, like getting all the items in. I'm just focused on just getting items in, getting all the shit in, more items, blah blah blah. And I'd be interrupted to go watch a fucking video of a stupid fucking robot telling me how to fucking put package the items in the bin properly. I had to bend my knees and all that shit. And it's just like, yo, this is the same shit over and fucking over. It's because, people and like Amazon doesn't know, like they don't realize after all these years that the vigorous movement of doing that same roles over and over is always going to cause some kind of injury to anybody because it's just you're doing the same thing over and fucking over, you know? And you get less breaks, you get punished for the breaks, and you only get a 30-minute lunch, which has always bothered me because like in most American jobs you usually get an hour. Hours are good because like you get to eat, you get to not rush, and you get to eat, enjoy, and then kind of let it digest and then get back to work. All the time at fucking Amazon I was always rushing to fucking finish my food. When I had my car back in Texas, getting food and then rushing to get back to work because the fucking line was so long. And then the same thing over here. And I was like, what the fuck? Like that shit was annoying. Like people don't they don't have enough time to eat. But then there again, the managers, HR, all those fat motherfuckers, they're inside, cool AC, going to secret meeting rooms and having a bunch of pizza and Wingstop and all that shit. And I know it because I would see it. I go on my break and smoke. We see people. I see a manager come out and meet a DoorDasher or whatever, and they have like a shitload of wings and pizza. And all that. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, it must be nice. And that too, back in Texas, like we had some generous managers who gave us pizza and stuff and food and stuff. And then when I came here to PX9, none of that, like none of that. Like they had some food events and they gave out pizza, but it never came from the managers. It came from like it was like the with like the higher ups, telling our building what to do and like having these like little events. But other than that, like they didn't give a fuck about no one. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe how snobby the managers here were. Like, they were all young and just like full of shit. And I was just like, and then there's also the other workers too who also thought they were like all hot shit. And it was just like, it's just like Amazon folk. Like, really? Come on. So then after all that, I was fired and I went to a fucking spiral and depression. And before I got fired, I wasn't drinking. I stayed not drinking for the sake of my fiance because of how it make my behavior sometimes with mental health. So I didn't drink for her, for that. But after she left and my son left and I was devastated, I went back to drinking. And at one point, I drank the whole liter of Jack Daniels, and like I had snapped somehow. I fucking snapped. Like I was crying, missing my son, going to his empty room, had some of his toys, his little clothing that they left behind, and I was crying and I was a mess. And then for some reason, I just started laughing. I started laughing and laughing hysterically, and it wouldn't stop. It would not stop. It lasted until the next day I had to go into work, and I still had the giggles, and I was trying to stop laughing, but I was still, I guess, kind of drunk still. So, and I noticed that after that, something changed in me a little bit, and I didn't know what the fuck that was. So then, after being terminated, I went to the hospital because I couldn't concentrate anymore. I just wanted to kill myself. That's all I kept thinking about. But I thought I was never gonna see my son again, and I was so angry and mad, and I just kept wanting not only to kill myself but get revenge. Like on the managers, and the GM, and I wanted to cause harm, and I was a mess. It was really fucking me up, and I didn't know what to do. And then, starting school, I didn't know what to do, and it was hard transitioning going to school since I had been out of school since high school, and then losing my job, and then being here in a new world or new place and going to school, and it was extremely hard the first semester, like really hard. Like I couldn't do it. I was too under stressed and full of negativity and depression.